Jamaica, even on lion. Down in Jamaica, Briggy born and grow. The old Chirios fall, I'm in love with so. I used to go to school and play tita-toe. And down in Jamaica, they play domino. I tell you, send catch wind down.
I'm a born Jamaican, I'm a son of the sun. I love the sea, I love the sun, Lord, I love this land. Don't matter where I go, Jamaica is my home. I love the girls, coconut water and white rum.
Let me hear you play now.
Yes, welcome to the program. I'm your host, Jermaine Buchanan. I don't know, and I enjoy this documentary because this is all about the real thing about Jamaica, the real deal, the history, the culture, the roots, everything about entertainment, the growth. Sit back, relax, and go and take in around a 3-4 hour documentary. The greatest place on earth. I'm talking about Jamaica, the greatest place on earth.
Jamaica is known for the beautiful beaches and all-inclusive resorts of Negril, Montego Bay and Ocho Rios. It was discovered by pirates.
I know this program, The Greatest Place on Earth, is all about, we always bring up a historical topic. The historical topic is all about the truth about Jamaica and Jamaicans, or should I say Jamaicans. The British come to Jamaica 1665 when they took it from Spain, turned it into a colony, providing Britain and the Americans with sugar. Sugar was the main crop produced on plantation throughout the Caribbean through the 18th, the 19th and the 20th century. Most islands were covered with sugarcane and the mills for refining it. The main source of labor until the abolition of the system was African slave. Here and then I try to analyze why we come to Jamaica. The reason I think that is because African slave labor are the machinery on the plantation, plus we are suitable for the climate, you know what I mean? The ebony genes, you know, more melanin in the skin, so we can adapt all of that. So in those days, you know, say the most transportation was by the seas. So you know, ships and everything come to Jamaica. We are going to a lot of history about the place, so some historical thing about Jamaica. The first movie made in Jamaica was in 1939 by the name of Jamaica Inn, and that was all about the past life of Jamaica with Henry Morgan, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean and all of that, you know, and all heap of treasures.
In the early days when Jamaica had just been captured by the English, the buccaneers came in very handy to protect the island from possibly being taken back by the Spanish.
Jamaica is an island of the Caribbean Sea, between latitude 17 and 18, and 700 miles out of Miami. A 4,000 square mile of property. The other spot for rates that a Blue Mountain Peak. I tell you that a 7,400 feet will I early be. Your Mike MC. I tell you about the thing called Jamaican history. Say Columbus left Spain 1493. Say 1 year after made that discovery, then Pen and Venable capture the country. Port Royal.
Ultimaye, Marley, Ultimaye, Marley, society,
Nanny of the Maroon. This story is one of the most historical events that took place in the 18th century. Nanny of the Maroon was born in West Africa in 1686. She was one of the many children that they say was member of the Ashanti tribe. She and her brother was captured and brought to Jamaica through the Atlantic slave trade. Her, among several slaves, were brought to the island of Jamaica. Jamaica, formerly known as Santiago, is an island in the Caribbean Sea and south of the United States. It is the third largest island in the Greater Antilles. It lies south of Cuba, west of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. The island was the home of the indigenous Arawaks and Tahanas. Jamaica was under the Spanish rule following the discovery of Christopher Columbus in 1494. It remained one of the possessions of Spain until 1665. England conquered the island and renamed it Jamaica. Under the British rule, Jamaica became the leading exporter with sugar, with its plantation economy and the import of slaves. Upon the arrival in Jamaica, Nanny and her brother was sold to a plantation owner in St. Thomas Parish. During this time, there were several attempts at revolt by the slave within the Caribbean and South America, as well as the Americas. Many of these attempts resulted into death and not successful. One night, while was making an attempt to escape, Nanny and her four brothers, Akompong, Kojo, Johnny, and Kwa, runaway escape in the area lately known as the Blue Mountain, or north of the parish of St. Thomas. This movement by Nanny and her siblings will begin to spark years of rebellion. While hiding, Nanny and her brothers split up amongst the rebels and formed small maroon communities throughout the island in order to survive the town, partaking in maintaining their own properties. Nanny became one of the most noted maroon organizers. Her community and rebels fought consistently in the form of captures. For many years, the man and woman of the maroon cities, along with the Tahanas and native Arawaks, would fight and unite against the British. This is the time the Nanny of the Maroon started to rebel and raid nearby plantations and help release other slaves who joined the community. In fear of losing their slave, many Europeans fought against small community, again free slave. Nanny was often commended of years of defending her community and was rumored to have the advantage due to the practice of Obia. Nanny would maintain her freedom throughout the span of her adult life. It is said she formed the largest maroon throughout the island and helped free 1,000 slaves in Jamaica. Her influence was massive and resulted into vicious results against the British. Many of them took place after her death. It is legend that the Maroon of this island fought their way back to Africa. The story proved to be very true. Between the time of 1796 and 1800, 500 Maroon was deported from Jamaica after years of Maroon War and living to Nova Scotia. As a result, many of them in the 1800s was sent back to St. Leon. Nanny of the Maroon died a freed woman in 1733, was able to maintain her freedom and the freedom of her community. Till this day, the town created by the Maroon can still find throughout Jamaica. Nanny of the Maroon not only noted of one of the most Caribbean fierceful revolutionists, she is one of the most noted women in Caribbean history. Years after her death, the island slaves were fully emancipated.
Old pirates, yes, they rob I, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind.
Look, you see the time? See the time? Yeah, up next, you don't know, we have Jamaica fully emancipated. Check out Kingston. Yeah,
how long shall it?
A bird's eye view of Kingston, the capital of Jamaica. A sun-kissed land of hills and plains, divided by ribbons of silver rivers, tumbling down through verdant valleys. A tropic isle of infinite beauty that rises out of the blue depths of the Caribbean Sea some 90 miles south of Cuba. The late Queen Victoria is lovingly referred to as the Supreme Lady of Jamaica. Let's stroll down King Street. Here we note signs of civilization on every side and find it hard to realize that only 3 centuries ago, this was a tropical wilderness, a favored hideout of bold pirates and buccaneers. Traffic rules are the same here as in London. If you go left, you go right. And if you go right, you go wrong. So figure it out for yourself. Most of the inhabitants are descendants of the slaves that were imported from Africa to work on the plantations. Just 100 years ago, Great Britain abolished slavery. Today, the Jamaican Negro is a happy, enlightened, law-abiding citizen, loyal to his government, of which he is very proud. Saturday is market day, but only a few have a donkey with which to bring in the produce from their farms. The men usually stay at home to work the farm, while the women walk to market, carrying everything in their head. Some of them have to walk 10 miles or more. When they have sold their wares, they start home, loaded down with supplies for their families. Walking must be good in Jamaica. Coffee beans, undated. Sugar and no cream. But plenty of soda pop to wash it down. The peasant Negroes of Jamaica are very much attached to their little homes and their plots of land. Their cabins are clean, sanitary, and pleasant to live in. Long before we had our NRA, these Jamaicans had a code of their own. A 4-day week gets them enough money for their everyday needs. Their clothing is scanty at times, but they all dress with due regard to modesty. The women have acquired the habit of using plenty of soap, so that the entire family is kept clean, in appearance at least. Their diet is simple. The only fuel they require is for cooking, and this takes place in the open air. Over 75,000 children attend the elementary school. They are taught their letters and their numbers by the singing method. They are very fond of singing. The teachers are natives, and they have been well prepared for their profession. They seem to start their education at an early age in this island, but then perhaps it's the mother who's trying to brush up on her own reading, writing, and arithmetic. Well, here's Kitty, who wants to learn how to spell mouse. As a rule, these children are well behaved and take a real interest in their lessons. The Jamaicans are known for their placid dignity. It must be an inborn trait. Just see how quiet and orderly these youngsters are as they march out of school. Here's an interesting group. This young mother of 7 children adds to the family budget by breaking stone for road building, at the same time keeping her eye on her brood. She chants as she works, marking time with the stone hammer. Quite an original lullaby for the babies. Oldest boy is already earning his way. And it won't be long now before these two will be making little ones out of big ones. This woman is spreading the broken stone over the roadway, a handmade road. Jamaica has an ideal soil and climate for raising sugarcane. All over the island, you will find small plantations with primitive sugar mills like this one. And would you believe it? This little mill turns out 600 pounds of raw sugar each working day. The cane is fed by hand to the rollers, and the juice which runs out is boiled down until it hardens. The process is similar to the one used in making maple sugar. This raw sugar is sold to the natives only. The large modern mills, which make the higher grade of sugar, and this sugar is exported. These small mills may be primitive, but they certainly deliver the goods. Jamaica is also an ideal place for growing bananas because it has a rich, fat soil together with plenty of heat and moisture. These are young trees about 3 months old. In another 5 or 6 months, they will bear fruit. These trees are full grown from 8 to 10 months old, and they are ready to be picked. Each tree bears only one crop. When the bananas are cut off, the picker destroys the tree. The shoots that spring up out of the roots grow rapidly to furnish the next crop. As the laborers carry the bunches to a loading station, they pass by an overseer who lops off the stems so as to save room on the fruit ship. And say, could he play a dirty trick on his brother-in-law? On very large plantations, they have narrow-gauge railroads for delivering the bananas to the wharves. On this one, a bullock cart answers the purpose. And here's the motive power. Here they come, along one of those handmade roads, bound for the waterfront. As the carts come in, the bananas are transferred to a big shed on the wharf. The men carrying the bananas pass in front of a checker. Each one receives a metal disc. Later, they turn them in as a check on the number of bunches brought in, and then they get paid off. The carriers get 2 cents for every 3 bunches carried in. The bananas are picked green. At this stage, they are quite hard and can be tossed around in handling without being damaged. Now, while the lighters go out to the ship and unload, let's wander along the shore and give the fishing industry the once-over.
We come a musical thing called, we treat it to the fisherman them. When I say special request on a popular man, the musical you always to be my commander. Tell you about it, hey, come and set tribute to the fish.
The women wade out to the boats and bring in the fish. They clean them and scale them right on shore, and then take them to market.
Man them, to me say, hey, Miss a fisherman, sell me some sprat a couple pound of parrot, a couple pound of the jacker. Tell little of that, me say me take it home.
Ah, Jamaican fish hound. Wanna buy a fish? Well, after all, we've missed our boat. But who cares? Jamaica is such a pleasant place in which to loaf, we don't mind having to wait for the next steamer, do we?
Say you no fi call we, say no call we no banana boat man.
On your mark.
Say no call we, do no call we no banana boat man.
Go.
Say out and reach up for any no one no passport. Never travel through now.
Moving in Jamaica, yeah. We moving like the line. Jamaica have the fastest man in a life. Him faster than Caramel. Dancehall music is so fly. You know the greatest thing in a life. Jamaican faster than Caramel. As them pull it, Jamaicans faster than bullet.
And now we are on the topic of sports. You understand what I mean? So long before Usain Bolt and all the track stars from Jamaica, Jamaica has been producing track stars for over the years. Like 1948 Olympic in London, Otto Wynne took gold.
The 400 meters final. A British Commonwealth United States battle with McKinley and Wint of Jamaica and Whitfield of the USA. They're off. World record holder McKinley dashes into the lead, and at the halfway mark is almost 10 yards up on the rest of the field. Coming into the home stretch, it's Wint who challenges the leader. 50 yards from the tape, it seemed impossible that he could do it, but he comes through with a magnificent effort to equal the Olympic record time of 46.2 seconds. Slow motion emphasizes his perfect action at the end of a brilliant race. This outstanding 6'4" athlete credits Jamaica with her first Olympic victory ever.
Down in Jamaica they got lots of pretty women. Steal your money, then they break your heart.
And because we're on the topic of movie, the first Jamaican movie which a Jamaican actor played a part in or come as a star, Jimmy Cliff, The Harder They Come. You understand? And that was a wonderful movie.
Oh yeah.
Since this is your first offense, I'm not going to send you to jail. I'm going to give you a chance to come to your senses. Either it will bring you down to earth once and for all, but there's little hope for you. 8 strokes of the tampon switch.
Jamaica start gaining a whole heap of success from acting there and then. Before third World Cup, all of the many movies where Paul Campbell appearing. You have a movie by the name of Lunatic.
Rascal! Why do you expect policeman?
Unhinged, nasty sex maniac!
Hollywood movie where people mention about Jamaica or play a scene about Jamaica, try to impersonate, like Dave Chappelle in the movie Half Break.
Well,
it isn't, Mr. Night Sky. Welcome to my lair. Well now, tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, you know, I be from Jamaica, man. Lord have mercy. What part of Jamaica? Right near the beach. Boy, I think you're bullshitting me. Samson Simpson, I stick by my story. I'm from Jamaica. If I wasn't Jamaican, then why would I wear this hat?
Mark for that with Steve Cigar. Jamaicans again.
Go ahead, kill her. I don't know her. I don't care about her.
And that's what I want to know. You're just like a dog without a teeth.
You want to kill her? Kill her. I don't mind if you kill her, you know, because I don't know her at all.
That bad boy. Now carve you now, boy. Now carve you. Now carve you. Now carve blood.
Belly with DMX and many more. Jamaican again.
You come in my house, don't you ever bring scared business to me. You're looking at the toughest rascal Jamaican in the United States of America. I run shit, I kill for nothing, and I make lots of money and deal with the business. Don't bring that shit to me. Again. You hear me?
I'm saying, though, it wasn't like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get on, man. I'm hungry. I need this shit. You know how I get down.
Even a movie Naked Guns 2 with famous actor like Leslie Nielsen.
All right, Savage. What do you want?
I want a car out front. Something fun. A Porsche. Then I want a plane ticket to Jamaica. Then I want a nice hotel. No touristy place. Something really indicative of the people and their culture.
Can't do that, Savage.
The best is yet to come. The most successful actress from Jamaica is Marge Sinclair.
Scholarship too. He fouled me. Did you see him foul me? Now wait a minute. This is a dining room, not a gym. So you check that outside. Oh, mama. Don't you oh mama me. That's not food. It's too tough to eat, so it stays outside.
What? Mama, I love you, but you're wrong. This is food and more. It's food and clothes for you and Pop and a house as big as a barn. Hey, Pop. Come on, Mama. God, boy.
So way before Andrew Oles, Portia Simpson,
The noise and the shouting won't help.
Edward Siaga,
How much?
Bruce Golden, DJ Patterson, Michael Manley, Donald Sangster, Hugh Shearer. The first election was in 1944. and it was by Alexander Bustamante and Norman Manley.
Both men came from the mixed-race upper classes. They had little in common with the underclass they sought to represent. But in the Caribbean, the black masses had been taught to believe that only light-skinned leaders could be taken seriously. The cricket test proved it. In 1938, the West Indies cricket team was predominantly white and mixed race.
You've had a situation in Jamaica for generations where there was a color class hierarchy, no question at all. At the top, white people, white expatriates, white locals, and then mixed peoples who are closer in the spectrum of color to being white, going down the scale to people who are black.
On behalf of Her Majesty, His Excellency invested those who, by their service to the island, have nobly deserved the recognition and thanks of their Queen.
There's what I call the gratefulness factor, in that most people who were of Bustamante's complexion had nothing to do with the majority of black people. So for somebody like him to actually stand for them made him far more important to them, because they were grateful to him for having broken to some degree with his typical social background.
Frome was the beginning of one of many worker rebellions sweeping the whole of the Caribbean region. As a lawyer, Norman Manley realized he had a vital role to play.
I well remember the day they started. Within 2 hours, every single group of workers in the principal city, Kingston, were out on strike. And I wondered what was going to happen. And that night I made up my mind. And I put an advertisement in the leading newspaper of Jamaica that I would represent all the striking groups in the country. And I got up next morning and life began on a new plane.
Norman Manley, NW to his friends, was an idealist. He had a real love for the land of Jamaica and its people. But unlike his cousin known as Buster, he would always find it difficult to connect with them.
Buster had a very easy rapport with people. I mean, he could just get up there and say a couple of things they loved to hear. They liked the little bit of the devil in him, whereas NW was much harder to swallow, for the Jamaican people to swallow. I always had the feeling that in a way he kind of set the bar so high, sometimes he exhausted them.
Alexander Bustamante really didn't come into prominence until there was a historic march by workers. That march happened to be in an area in which he was, and he jumped into the march and moved to the head of it and gave the march leadership. The police commanded the marchers to cease, to stop, and they leveled their guns at the marchers. And Bustamante bared his shirt and bared his chest and said to them, "Shoot me and leave the people alone."
A report by the British government following the uprising at Frome was damning. It blamed the colour caste system for black unemployment and urban squalor. Norman vowed to sweep this inequality aside when he set up the People's National Party in 1938. Buster's vision was different. He formed a trade union in his own name, out of which grew the Jamaica Labour Party.
I think he saw that Manley was a potential rival for his leadership, somebody coming from a different sector of the society. The intellectual, the successful barrister, the person who was seen as the purveyor of ideas.
These two men would come to dominate the country's political future. But what they both wanted more than anything was to lead an independent Jamaica.
Jamaica was the happiest island in all the Caribbean.
Kingston was in holiday mood, and the whole population hung out the flags and metaphorically threw its hat in the air. They rejoiced, not that they were parting from Britain, they are firm adherents of the Crown, but because Jamaica stood on the threshold of independence. And then it rained. A tropical downpour, as inappropriate as our own deluge on bank holiday. But nature relented, and as though to bid welcome, out came the sun as the airliner touched down at Palisadoes Airport, bringing to represent the Queen Princess Margaret. Independence was to have a royal greeting. There to welcome the princess and her husband was the governor, Sir Kenneth Blackburn, and the veteran Prime Minister, Sir Alexander Bustamante. After the greeting of Lady Blackburn, it was the turn of the Premier to bid Her Royal Highness a loyal welcome. Then Princess Margaret was conducted to the saluting base to receive the royal salute by the Jamaica Regiment. The 12-mile drive from the airport and through Kingston gave thousands the opportunity they had long awaited to express their own greeting in unmistakable manner. At the entrance to King's House, the princess spoke to some disabled children. Among them were Girl Guides and Boy Scouts. They are crippled, but they were not forgotten. The royal visitor had a word, too, with the woman in charge of them. Next day, Her Royal Highness opened the great National Stadium, which nobly expresses the pride and hope of the new nation. Sir Alexander Bustamante received the Princess and Lord Snowdon and conducted them to the royal box. This was the place where, at midnight on the following day, the flag of independent Jamaica would be raised. Princess Margaret said it was fitting that the country would serve as host for the 9th Central American and Caribbean Games. And after the applause came the emotional rendering of the Jamaican national anthem. The stage was now taken by the young people. Jamaica's youth organizations had heard the princess say that the country's future rested with their generation. They made it look as if that future would be in good hands. One spectator who had been among the prime movers in achieving independence was the opposition leader, Norman Manley. Two minutes to midnight, Sunday, August the 5th, the birth of Jamaican independence. The new flag was about to be hoisted over the stadium. Sir Kenneth Blackburn was soon to be Governor General, the higher rank in accord with the new status of Jamaica as full member of the Commonwealth. It is likely that before long he will be succeeded by a Jamaican, and who better than the 78-year-old Sir Alexander Bustamante. It was another historic day for the emergent nation that saw the state opening of Parliament. The motto chosen for the new coat of arms is, out of many, one people. And here on the Westminster model will sit the Democratic Assembly who will govern the multiracial 1.75 million who will become one people. On this moving occasion, it was Princess Margaret's privilege to represent Her Majesty the Queen. And as always, when such duty falls to her, she now performed it with a grace and dignity befitting the responsibility. In their places for the inauguration sat the 66 members of the Senate and House of Representatives. Visitors included the papal envoy and dignitaries from independent African states. It now fell to the Prime Minister to receive from the Queen's representative the constitutional instruments of Jamaican independence and to convey to the Princess the speech from the throne, in which the Queen congratulated all who had guided Jamaica to her new status and expressed hope in the nation's future progress and prosperity. The Prime Minister's address of thanks was seconded by the leader of the opposition, Mr. Norman Manley. The first session of Parliament of Independent Jamaica was opened. It followed the pattern of Westminster, the mother of parliaments, from which democracy has spread and flowered in so many lands. 300 years of British government had come to an end, and peacefully, one more nation had been helped to achieve its yearning for self-government. All wish well to the happy people of independent Jamaica.
But once in the history of a people. At 3 minutes to midnight, the flag of Jamaica is borne into the arena by runners of the Boys Brigade and received by the Prime Minister, who hands it to a warrant officer of the Jamaica Defense Force. His Excellency the Governor and the Prime Minister take up their positions facing the royal box.
Right! General, salute! Present!
The British flag, which has flown over Jamaica for the past 3 centuries, is about to be replaced by the Jamaica national flag, heralding the birth of the new nation. The lights go out. The Union Jack is lowered, and the new flag of Jamaica raised.
Present!
'62 is not only the independence of Jamaica, but it's also the time when they film the movie James Bond at the Duns River Fall. Take a look.
Come watch for the moon. La da 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 mango tree, me honey. Make hulu underneath the mango tree. Make hulu soon. La da da dee da da dee, honey and me.
Underneath the mango tree, my honey and me.
Kiela.
And up next, you don't know, so we have coming of the king, Haile Selassie, Emperor, you don't know. So check it out.
Well, I've seen many world leaders, many heads of state, but none of them impressed me. Like when I was youth, about 6, 7 years when King Selassie I visit, 1966, old tight Rasta crew is safe. Lord, the visit of the King Selassie I, Lord, it was the year 1966, when Selassie I made a...
Undaunted by the driving rain, a sea of faces awaited at the Palisados airport the arrival of a living legend. To some, he was the King of Kings, the Lion of Judah, even a god. But to most, he was a mild-mannered monarch who had won the respect and admiration of Jamaicans. The air was charged with excitement as anxious, expectant faces searched the skies for the first glimpse of the great silver bird that would bring their hero to Jamaican soil for the first time. Members of a local cult, the Rastafarians, who were easily distinguished by their long beards and unshorn locks, and who worshipped this figure as a deity, were present in full force. Rousing, boisterous, tumultuous welcome ever given to any visiting or local celebrity, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, Emperor of Ethiopia, arrived. The crowd erupted into a frenzy of rejoicing as they broke through the lines of soldiers and police and surged out onto the tarmac, eager to engulf the Emperor with their affection. The ceremonial welcome that was planned had to be abandoned as the avalanche of men, women, and children swept away all semblance of order. Ethiopia, a monarchy on the eastern side of Africa, has been governed since 1930 by Haile Selassie, whom history records as being a direct descendant of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. Jamaica was among the places visited by His Imperial Majesty on his tour of the Caribbean area. Huge crowds jostled for choice vantage points all along the route in the hope of seeing the Emperor. George VI Park, thousands also awaited his arrival. The cenotaph, His Imperial Majesty laid a wreath in memory of Jamaicans who gave their lives in both world wars. The tomb of the noted Jamaican patriot Marcus Garvey was also visited by the Emperor. next drove to Jamaica House, the official residence of the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Sir Alexander Bustamante. The Emperor was introduced to Sir Alexander and Lady Bustamante by the acting Prime Minister, the Honourable Donald Sangster. The National Stadium was the scene of the civic welcome extended by the government of Jamaica to His Imperial Majesty. The acting Prime Minister read the address of welcome.
Your Imperial Majesty, I have the great honor to express to you, on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, a most warm and sincere welcome. This, your first visit to Jamaica, is for us, Your Majesty, a most important and significant event. We have long hoped for this occasion, and your presence with us today is assuredly, Your Majesty, a high point in our history.
Mr. Eustace Bird, one of the two KSAC commissioners, presented the keys of the city to the Emperor. His Imperial Majesty and his party were treated to displays staged by the military and young schoolgirls. The next stop for the royal party was King's House, the official residence of His Excellency the Governor-General, Sir Clifford Campbell. His Imperial Majesty was introduced to many dignitaries and members of the Rastafarian cult in full regalia. The Emperor afterwards presented gold medallions to the Rastafarians. Then it was our turn for gift-giving. At a formal reception at King's House, the government of Jamaica presented gifts to the Emperor and to his grandchildren, who accompanied him on the tour. Flanked by officials of state and the military, he was escorted across the lawns of King's House. There, on a balcony, he settled back to enjoy a Jamaican concert under the stars. The sounding brass and crashing cymbals of massed bands heralded the opening of another session of Parliament at Gordon House. This session would be addressed by His Imperial Majesty. On his arrival, he was escorted to the saluting dais for the playing of the national anthems of Ethiopia and Jamaica. He was then ushered into the council chamber. The Emperor's address to the Assembly and people of Jamaica was in his native Amharic and was translated by a member of his party.
I had always wished to come and visit Jamaica. Now, thank God, this wish of mine has been fulfilled. Upon arrival to Jamaica, I have seen more than I had expected. I have seen the progress of the people, and I have seen their determination to march forward in unity towards greater progress. I have also witnessed personally the extent of the feeling of the Jamaican people to the Ethiopian people. Again, I wish to take this opportunity of expressing my thanks to the government and people of Jamaica for the fraternal reception that was accorded to me.
Among the academic institutions visited by His Imperial Majesty were Jamaica College, the College of Arts, Science and Technology, and Mico College. And here at Mico College, one of Jamaica's oldest teacher training institutions, he was met by the principal, Mr. Glenn Owen. Escorted inside, he was invited to sign the visitor's book. And a gift was presented to him by one of the pupils. The University of the West Indies is one of the institutions of which Jamaicans are justly proud. It covers 650 sprawling acres at the foot of the Long Mountains in St. Andrew, and it has recently been granted full independent status by the University of London. Members of the faculty, student body, and prominent citizens gathered to witness the ceremony in which the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws would be conferred on His Imperial Majesty. Dr. Philip Sherlock, Vice-Chancellor of the University, conferred the degree. The Emperor's reception for the Governor-General and people of Jamaica was held at the Sheraton Kingston Hotel. The atmosphere was cheerful and informal, as Jamaicans from all walks of life chatted and joked together and raised friendly glasses in a toast to the continued health and happiness of His Imperial Majesty. As a personal gift, the Emperor entrusted to the government the funds to erect a school. At the chosen site on Payne Avenue, hundreds gathered to witness the stone-laying ceremony. In appreciation of the Emperor's generosity, the government decided to offer a scholarship to an Ethiopian student tenable at the University of the West Indies. The foundation stone was laid by the emperor himself.
From the conquering land of God of Judah.
Chanting, placard-bearing Rastafarians swarmed all over the Kingston railway station as they awaited the arrival of the emperor. This was the beginning of a journey by rail across the island to Montego Bay Airport, from which the emperor and his party would depart. The train stopped briefly at Spanish Town, but the vast multitude, carried away by emotion and enthusiasm, broke out in a wild free-for-all in which several persons were injured. Through the countryside, the emperor was treated to glimpses of the Jamaican scenery. His Imperial Majesty made several stops at various towns along the route. Some of these included Denby, Williamsfield, Magatee, and Montpelier. There he met both prominent citizens and humble folk. He also saw something of our rich heritage of folk dancing. Montego Bay, the scene was almost unbelievable. Thousands crammed the streets and lanes and carpeted the rooftops. Many of them were Rastafarians who had come from all over the island to catch a final glimpse of the Lion of Judah. And when he was sighted, there went up a roar like the voice of 10,000 lions. At Montego Bay Airport, His Imperial Majesty was given the military honors that were thwarted on his arrival at the Palisadoes Airport by the overzealous welcome. Here, strong detachments of soldiers and police kept the huge crowds at bay.
DJ, I use CD jugger. You know, so the authentic Askia music was on vinyl.
Johnny, some kids on the show yesterday mentioned a new kind of music, ska. You know anything about it?
How should I know? Nothing but a modern offshoot of reggae. The updated white rock influence is definitely upbeat. It'll never become really popular because even though they've made the backbeat more conventional, it's still too exotic for mass acceptance.
Since 1959, the West End of Kingston, Jamaica has throbbed with a musical beat. A hypnotic sound of surging excitement and power. People hearing it became caught up in a frenzy and couldn't help moving to this pulsating, almost religious beat. This is ska.
Not many people can cha-cha-cha. Not everybody can do the twist, but everybody can do the ska. It's a new dance you can't resist. Ska, ska, ska. Jamaica ska. Now everybody can do the ska. It's a new dance that goes like this. Now, bow your head. Swing your arms, shake your hip. Now do a dip. Ska, ska, ska. Jamaica ska. Ska, ska, ska. Do the ska. Now, bow your head, swing your arms, shake your hip. Now, do a dip. Ska, ska, ska. Jamaica ska. Ska, ska, ska. Jamaica ska.
Yes, this is ska, original and indigenous. The music of guitar, saxophone, trumpet, bass, and drums. These instruments are playing a monotonic, grassroots rhythm. This beat has taken Jamaica by storm and is swiftly spreading to other parts of the world. Now, what is the authentic style of this new dance craze? Let's take a look-see, shall we? There are 4 basic steps to the ska. The first is to keep the beat with the upper half of the body, bowing forward with a straight back and a slight bend in both knees. At the first bow, the arms extend to the sides. At the second bow, the arms cross in front. The body straightens up in between the change of arms from one position to the other. Basic step number 2 is practically the same as step number 1, but with the addition of a side step. First to the right by moving the right leg on the extension of the arms, then bringing up the left leg on the closing of the arms. Step number 3 is once again very similar, only the arms change. First right, then left, swing up and down in front of the body, finishing with the body beat when the right arm is in the air and then when the left arm is in the air. The arms are to be very relaxed and then swung on either side of the legs or between the legs. These basic steps may be done face to face or side by side with your partner. Finally, our fourth basic step. Now, this is perhaps the most energetic of all the basic ska steps. It's being done by 2 members of the band and is called rowing. A similar action to rowing a boat. It is either done facing your partner or beside your partner. The first move is to reach out with the arms.
The first international song from Jamaica was My Boy Lollipop by Millie Small in 1964.
Millie's little daughter Jonah is her lollipop these days. The spring of 1964, when she shot to world fame with that record, seems a long way off. A second hit never came. Years of touring followed, and before long Millie was penniless, sleeping rough in London and eventually ending up in a hostel. But she bubbled then and she bubbles now. Millie doesn't even acknowledge she's had some bad times, and there's certainly no bitterness. But you ended up actually having to sleep in a hostel, you had no money?
Yeah, that's the whole experience. It was great. I didn't worry because I knew what I was doing. I chose it, and it was very interesting. I see how the other half live for choice. It's not that I was feeling sorry for myself, it's something I chose to do.
Do you have any regrets about that?
No.
Island Records have re-released My Boy Lollipop as part of their 25th birthday celebrations. It's currently number 50 in the charts and going up. So what if it's a big hit again?
Then I can say, bye Lollipop, and then I can come back with my own new version of myself and my world.
And 2-year-old Jonah is clearly the most important thing in Millie's world just now. Would you like her to go through the same sort of experience that you've been through?
No, she's been through it with me in spirit.
What if she wants to be a pop star when she grows up?
She will do whatever she chooses, will be right. She's her own teacher. I am just a mother teacher to her. Okay?
Millie's hoping that Lollipop's revival will revive a new music career. Here's an impromptu rendering of one of her new songs, Sugar Plum.
Oh, my sugar plum, tell me where are you? I've searched the whole world through. I can't find you.
Paul Larsman with Millie, Thames News.
And now I'm sad and blue, waiting like a fool for you. Dun 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 ding ding dun. I did.
Okay, I'm stocking up my vinyl right now to go on a showdown. And when I say a showdown, I'm not talking about Vice Cartel and Movada. I'm not talking about Bounty Killer or Beanie Man. I'm not talking about Ninja Man or Super Cat.
As the phone now gets us on, if there is a killing, the killing have to be done. Hold on! How we are the cat? Cat! You're my brother, you're my father, you're my Benjamin, then your brother, here we now. Hold on. Listen to me talk. That's good, I heard it.
This is way before that. Prince Buster and Derek Morgan. So here we go.
Take me across and wash all my troubles away. Like that lucky old sun, give me nothing to do but roll around heaven all day.
I'm your superior, so please be still.
You done stole my belongings and give to your Chinese man. God in heaven knows, He knows that you are wrong. Are you a Chinaman?
The story of modern Jamaican music starts in the early 1950s in the poorer areas of downtown Kingston with the emergence of a uniquely Jamaican phenomenon. Still at the heart of the music 50 years later, the sound system. It's essentially a street discotheque with speakers big enough to raise a family in. It's where poor Jamaicans have been coming to dance till they drop, ever since they stopped listening to jazz bands in the now ruined clubs all over the island. As the 1950s rolled on, the music of Fats Domino, Ray Charles and Louis Jordan was streaming into the island from Southern American radio stations just over 90 miles away. And with the sound systems blasting it out most nights of the week, downtown Kingston went dance crazy. And like any craze, it was rich with opportunity. Sound systems became the biggest local industry in downtown Kingston, and competition was fierce. To pull in the punters, you had to have the best music blasting out of your system. The race was on for the hottest American tunes. Out of this fierce competition, two giants emerged, Clement Coxon-Dodd and Arthur Duke Reid. Combining their liquor businesses with their sound system dancers, they were effectively the barons of downtown Kingston, and would continue to control the Jamaican music business for the next 15 years.
Yes, suddenly rum is served to sophisticates.
To drink some more, but when I look at the clock, it was 3:45.
To promote their sound systems, Reed and his competitors had turned to record producing by the end of the 50s, but not as we know it today. They had no intention of selling records to anyone else. They brought jazz musicians down from the tourist hotels to play Jamaican versions of American R&B, and then they just made one copy of each record to play on their sound system and achieve the much prized exclusive.
We start 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the ska now we change it to 1, 2, 3. And then it's more 2, 4, 2, 4 instead of 1.
It is Jamaica's first musical revolution. And we call it ska. And then ska was a dirty word.
This is the way of life of the lower class people.
In 1960, much of uptown Jamaica still preferred American music, and many of the jazz musicians who had invented ska were making a living playing the tourist resorts of the North Coast. In 1960, Prince Buster started his own sound system. To steal a march on his rivals, he approached the ultimate outcasts of Jamaican society, the Rastafarians, who since the 30s had looked to Africa rather than Europe as a model. He persuaded Count Ozzy and his master drummers down from the Warwicker Hills into a recording studio. Rasta and Jamaican music have been inseparable ever since. Even at the independence celebrations, Count Ozzy and his troupe were part of the pageant laid on for Princess Margaret, whose reaction remains unrecorded.
A Lord of Lords in this land. No more back talk in me of you, 'cause I'm king from the beginning. I was made king. Lion says I am king, and I reign.
Tested at the Lyceum, the title Miss World. They numbered 40.
I'm crowning you myself.
The emerging nation was full of optimism, and with prosperity increasing, everybody wanted to own the ska records that up until now they only had heard on the sound systems. Eager to capitalize on this new market, the sound system operators reinvented themselves as record companies. Prince Buster's Voice of the People, Duke Reed's Treasure Isle, and initially the top label Coxsone, run by the taciturn Clement Dodd. He was the first to realize that you could make a living beyond the sound system. With his profits, he set up the legendary Studio One, the first recording studio in Jamaica to be owned by a black man.
Is that the first time I've been to your home? What is the first time?
Just like in the old days of the sound system, Coxsone constantly needed new sounds to stay ahead. Every Sunday morning, young hopefuls gathered in his yard, hawking their songs and looking for a shot at the big time.
The longest live will see the moon.
Another group of youngsters signed by Coxsone were the Wailers, Bunny Wailer, Bob Marley and Peter Tosh. In 1964, within a year of Studio One's opening, they sold an astonishing 70,000 copies of Simmer Down.
it was a very productive period in Jamaica's musical history. Hit after hit, you know, every month there would be a new hit.
Studio One's music was made downtown for downtown people. The musicianship necessary wasn't that easy to achieve if you were poor in Kingston, but luckily there was also a downtown academy. If Studio One was Motown, the Alpha Boys School was the Juilliard School of Music. Many of Jamaica's greatest musicians have been from Alpha. Coxon in particular was quick to appreciate the value of the kind of discipline and ability you might expect from that institution. The backbone of his house band were largely Alpha old boys, and they became the first superstars of ska, the Scatterlights.
Oh yes, the Scatterlights. That was Johnny Moore.
The 2 years after independence, with the Scatterlights at their peak, was the golden age of Jamaican ska.
No matter what the people say, these sounds leads the way. It's the order of the day from your boss DJ.
Well, my name is Winston Sparks, aka King State. I was born in Kingston, the year 1940, 17 September. Well, I first met Mr. Dodd through a DJ that he had by the name of Count Machuki, who was the first disc jockey in Jamaica at the time.
Did you learn your craft from him?
Yes, most of it.
People say that you were a dancer as well.
Yes, I like dancing.
So when did you first start to DJ for Mr. Dodd?
Well, I started in the year 1956.
So out of ska music, here come developer music by the name of Rocksteady. So I'm here getting this suit together, about to get it pressed, you know what I mean? About to get it ironed, you know what I mean? Just the same. You know, to link a man by the name of Lee Scratch Perry.
Feeling fresh, feeling good, feeling as the way man I said there. Feeling rain, rock
Junior Mervyn, Upsetters and the Heptones all rehearse here.
Scratch's real name is Lee Perry. He regards all the greats, including Bob Marley. Even Paul McCartney is coming here from England, because Scratch has a sound and a rhythm of his own. He calls it rockers. When Scratch begins a session, first he balances drum and bass for the basic rhythm. Ghetto music, always drum and bass. Then Scratch will balance all the other instruments till he's ready to start recording. When the balance is right, the upsetters lay down the rhythm track. That's how reggae is recorded.
Let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Though there seems to be no kind of order or discipline, Scratch knows exactly what he wants, and the musicians respect that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
By other people's standards, the instruments may sound distorted, the balance way off. But it's just these rough edges that give reggae the kind of raw sound they can never copy abroad. When Scratch is happy with the rhythm, he'll get Junior Mervyn and the Heptones to put the vocals on. Rhythm and then lyrics. That's how Scratch describes reggae. Rhythm from the ghetto, lyrics from the streets.
Yes, Rasta. Play on, Mr. Music. Play on. Won't you play on, Mr. Music? Play on. Say the chalice is burning, the jammers are rolling. Getting ready for the jammers are rolling. Getting ready for the show. Oh, play on, Mr. Music. Play on. Won't you play on, Mr. Music? Play on. Rather dick in the corner is licking his lips. The drummer's about to roll his feet. So play on, Mr. Music. Play on. Won't you play on, Mr. Music? Play on. Say, play, play, play. Won't you play on? Yeah.
The music is more than music to me. It goes further than music, you know.
Yeah, Bob Marley definitely was the king of reggae.
He's the one who teaches us everything that we know.
Bob, he influenced everyone.
I and I now have words to really talk about Bob Marley for the good that he have done, whether here in Jamaica or anywhere in the world.
Why boasted thyself, O evil man? Playing smart and not being clever.
Robert Nesta Marley was born on February the 6th, 1947, in 9 Miles, Jamaica, to Cedella Malcolm and Norval Marley.
But the goodness of Jaja, I adore it forever.
At the age of 5, Bob moved with his mother to Kingston, where Cedella thought that they would have a greater chance of improving their lives. They lived with the Livingston family, and it was here that Bob and his newfound friend Bunny Livingston were able to experiment with music, songs and rhythms.
These are the words of my master.
Music allowed Bob and Bunny the opportunity of escaping the poverty and violence of Kingston, and through his deep understanding of the people who surrounded him, Bob found he was soon able to articulate their fears and worries through song.
Shall fall in it, and whosoever diggeth the pit.
Bob's songs were parables, messages of faith and warning.
If you want a big tree, let me tell you that we are the small
Bob often sang the praises of Rastafarian religious beliefs. But more often than this, through his words and music, he was able to make people aware of the ills, joys and dreams of humanity, be they black, brown, yellow or white. Bob considered that mankind were all brothers.
These are the words of my master. No weak out shall prosper, and whosoever diggeth a pit, and whosoever diggeth a pit, shall bury in it. If you want a big, big tree, we are a small axe, ready to cut you down.
Yeah, this is the house the father were living. The father were living here. So why is living here and cut the woman down there?
Did Bob ever know Captain Marley later?
I couldn't say whether they had known his leader, yes or no.
And what sort of man was his father?
He was an Englishman, a white man. His work was doing field work in the mountain as a supervisor for the ex-soldier and for there's a crown land, for the land inside the wood.
Was he well liked here? Did the people like him?
Oh yes, he was well liked here. He was beloved of all.
That's Bob's house, right? Bob's used to be living over there. Long time now, about 16, 17 years old.
Is that where he lived before he went to Kingston?
Yeah, he was born there, born down the bottom, and he was living up here for a while.
Bob would eat out of the calabash and so forth. He would not eat out of any other plate or utensils. Bob would eat out of the calabash and so forth. He would not eat out of any other plate or utensils. And he was living on a single bed inside this room here.
But you see, Bob was very different from most of the musicians that were in town. You see, Bob had a part of the country in his life already, which in most of the musicians in the town, they haven't been to country. They don't know what is about country. They don't know about time. They don't know about nature and all these things. That is what Bob really had over most of these musicians.
This is what inspired Bob Marley in Trenchtown, like even the life of the people around here right now. The way they live is music, even the walking is music and everything what you see going on. This is what inspired Bob Marley in Trenchtown, like even the life of the people around here right now. The way they live is music, even the walking is music and everything what you see going on.
Did you find it strange that he made Trenchtown a word that's, or an area that's now well known even in London, in America, or
No, we don't find it strange.
No, Bob, we don't know anything Bob would look strange to you. Bob is a special man, you know, so anything Bob don't even look strange.
Bob was a part of Trenchtown. You understand? A real part of Trenchtown.
Really the suffering of the people. Really, he really gives one the impetus to really go out there and try something.
You know? To try something.
And I think too, Bob Marley showed that Trenchtown with respect from where it was, bring it from a ghetto where it well be known as not very nice people. He show it as a youth from the ghetto. Come show it boy, Trenchtown wasn't so bad. Good things can come out of it too.
Yeah. You were very proud of Marley for
very, very proud.
That's more than even write music like
seeing that he was a part of Trenchtown, you know.
When he left Trenchtown, he came into Bull Bay then. He came into Bull Bay, he and Gabby introduced him to Bull Bay, that Gabby Dread. He's not around. He first he have a home corner just up on the hilltop.
And a scheme.
And then he have another one up the scheme. That way he was really resident, and Judy Mont also come along with him and have a house topside him. So you see Bob Marley, Judy Mont and Bunny Wailers, we all, you know, run up and down on the sun, you know, regularly. From there, you know, Jamaica, Little Dread who live there, we congregate there first in the morning time, you know. We cook and we smoke and things.
Father, we call upon thee, when we call upon the hearkening unto the voice. Send the bull this cup of Brisbane. Each and every one full take off this cup. Bless them with us in the same blessing.
that they too shall say yes, thou art the Almighty Jah. Hear us sincere, O Jah, and bless us both eternal life forever.
My father is the strongest influence we have in music and in life, and he's the one who caused us to be on this way, on this path. He's the one who first showed us this light, and then we search for it also, and then find it to be true, and we on that path also. So he's a major influence, you know. So when we found it possible now that we could have some money to buy equipment, we put it back in the same place where our father's studio was, and renovated it, you know, because there's a very special vibes there and a good feeling.
Bob's childhood was not unique. However, his desire to sing and perform and to offer hope through song was. The answer was to record his music. As a result, he gave up his training to become a welder and formed his first band, the Rude Boys, who then became known as the Wailers. At the age of just 16, Bob fulfilled his lifelong dream and released his first single, Judge Not. He and Bunny soon joined forces with Peter Tosh, and the Wailers was formed. Calling them the Wailers because it is said they were all born crying. Their first song, Simmer Down, was an instant #1 in Jamaica. Early Wailers songs were based on the popular dance music style of ska. Over time, the Wailers slowed down the beat, preferring the slower, bass-heavy sound of reggae.
He's the one that opened the way for the rest. So, you know, I always think of Bob. Well, it's kind of hard to explain to one, you know, but, you know, spirit is spirit, and it's not something you can see or hold, you know, but you just feel. And then, you know, from my spiritual feelings, I can always feel him, because right now he's here.
In 1966, Bob and the other Wailers embraced the Rastafarian.
Life is the most precious gift handed down from the Creator to mankind. But in the midst of life, there comes death. 1981, May 11th, was the funeral service of Robert Nesta Bob Marley. With the gathering of the Rastafarian family and the politicians, people from all over the world, ambassadors, everyone was there to see the send-off of Robert Nesta Marley.
Build your mind on this parade.
And that day, the most burnt of sacrifice were frankincense and myrrh.
Serve the living God and live. Live in God. Live in God and live. Take your troubles to Selassie. Is the only King of Kings. King of Kings. King of Kings is
Whenever the earth should pass, people will burst out in tears on the sidewalk. Cannot believe that the man who formed reggae is off too soon. And they brought his body back to 9 Mile, where he birthed from, so he came from, he went back.
I search
sweet reggae music, I just can't refuse it. When all things perish from under the sky, music alone shall live, it will never die.
reggae music, sweet reggae music.
Nowadays dance all it no nice. The music I play but you have to think twice. Negative alibis, lyrical content get abusive. Nowadays DJ think elusive. Them subconscious no.
I know we leave from there, straight into the sound system, into the dance hall. It sound like King Stereograph, King Jammys, Sir Coxon, King Tubbies, Gemini, African Roots, Volcano.
Perspiration is a running on me back. Jah know say me slim, me not go get fatter. The people in the dance say that them do that. They come, they catch, they keep on pose. I take part of me like a we a war rope. Say fi go and go down. Power river me say fi go and go down. Nobody take me fi no looking glass. Hey, nobody take me fi no looking glass. How when me say, hey, me say me jukes in a me yard when I plan to go abroad. Say back me come and tell me say I dance from the corner. Take off me cap, me have to put it on back. Take off me shirt, me have to put it on back. Right? Take off me pants, me have to put it on back. Me jump in a dance and I don't give a bit up because I dance from the corner. Jamaica till you drop and move me from the corner. Starring Faja and Bobby Culture. Man scratchy ranking and the rider. Right and over say I murder me chant from. Special request for to Jacobi and the owner. Special request to put fashion love on me teacher. Say every hour and the hour and the hour and the music and the hour. Every hour and the shower and the music and the hour. Say I dance from me corner. Bobby Culture, I dance from Chicana.
Ravens in this place, nobody feel no way. And fast that walks away, and then Bobby Culture walks in and say, nobody feel no way, you know?
Mobile discotheques called sound systems travel all around Jamaica, taking the music and its message out from the studios direct to the people. The DJs sing their own local message over other people's records, like young U Brown, who models himself on the great U Roy. U Roy was the first, singing of Trench Town and Babylon Burning. He's something of a legend.
How you mean? Them a say every time from not to know everything. Say them must be crazy young lady, you know. Drum and bass, you got to wiggle your way to people when I play them drum and bass. People fire that the bass that make me crazy. Hey, nothing, get stepping.
Because we're the boss, you don't know, bless him.
Yeah, man, I'm boss, man.
Yes. All right.
Golden House record. On the bottom to the top. Yeah, Golden House record. And this God praise it. Big up the Golden House record.
One like Lawyer Richard Dupree.
And long life, live and life is live forever. And the priest cannot decrease. But the priest must increase. Golden House record.
Bless. I don't know.
Video show to the party down in a Negril. You see me? Right now we have Rich Cafe.
Yeah.
So Lee Casper, the boss, you don't know. Bless him.
Yeah, man. The boss, man. Yes. All right. Respect. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Lee Casper. I make reggae, spiritual reggae, holy reggae, godly reggae. I will not accept ragamuffin reggae. And anything that the devil is insisting in, I am here to cramp and paralyze it and cripple it. I'm here to destroy the devil's brain, but the devil can't reign.
Why do you hate ragamuffin?
Because I'm not a ragamuffin. I'm a Christian. I'm not a ragamuffin. I'm not a ragapuffin. I don't even smoke spliff anymore, so I stop ragapuff. I stop ragapuffing. I don't even smoke spliff anymore. Cigarette I hate to the death.
So what is your reggae? Tell me what is your reggae?
So spiritual reggae, righteous reggae, godly reggae, holy reggae, soulful reggae, soul fire dub, soul fire club, and
all right, let's invite on for a quick spot in Reggae Sun Splash before we go and splash it down on the beach today. Let's hear it for Ika Mouse.
Me name Ika Mouse. I don't really dress tidy, but you know what I mean? Some army style. Ika Mouse don't DJ, you know. Ika Mouse sing. Yeah, I sing. This when someone sing, them say la la, wah, yeah. Ika Mouse say that. Just bang, biddy, bang, gang. Yeah. That one I call down the ghetto where I grow in. I want tune me I do, you know, Kawa. I know people want to know you come out, you know, see it. Bang, 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 the kin, bang, doddy men, bang, dun, den, ben, I'm a coin, ten. Bang, bang, biddy men, den, ben, I'm a coin, ben, a mini men, Hey, down in the ghetto is where I grow. Pain and tribulation, all I know. Mommy and daddy, all that we I live for. One make we a feel suffer so. Hey, storm me come and I blow down me door. Rain a pour through me one window. Shoes tear up, me toe dust a show. Me no know, me no know, me no know. Me no know, I know me no know, I know me no know. Me no know, me no know, I know me no know, me no know. Hey, for me mama tell me don't rob no store, else police beat you, make you back sore. She tell her daughter don't turn her whore, just take that stuff for reason so. Hey, 5 on the bed, 4 on the floor. When me I go do me no know. Mama does a ball, Papa does a ball. The greatest crime is to be poor. Say, me no know. But I know me no know. I know me no know. Ding ding, I know me no know. Sorry no. You know what I mean? Yeah. When someone I sing them say la la, some say whoa, some say yeah. Me no say that. Bena bing ding, bing dong ding, bena ni. Bang gong giddy bing ding ding dong bena no koi bena many bena yo koi bing ding ding dong ding bena many ding dong ding bena mo koi bing ding many bena yo koi. Early Sunday morning it was a big ganja smoke going in bed. Inna the mud me a pick a lip but me I load them down inna that bena me. One by one me load up the fan. All of the gun
And in that same space of time, you know, growing up, seeing my father building sound system, chew bombs and fixing speakers and all them things there. And you know, record, vinyl, you know, we just gain to love music and then build a sound system and we call it by the name of African Roots.
African root, just call me African root. Please call me African root. Just call me African root. So I was born and raised in the ghetto with the blood of African root. So you can always call me African root. Just call me African root. Just call me African root. Please call me African root. Just call me African root. Well, they're taken away from Africa more than 500 years ago. One thing they didn't take is the roots out of the mind. So call me African root. Just call me African root. Just call me African root. Just call me African root. Doesn't matter to me that if they call me African root, here I am as an African, born and raised in the ghetto. 'Cause I was born and raised in the ghetto with the blood of African root. So you can always call me African root. Just 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 call me African root.
1973, Jamaica have their glimpse at a first heavyweight boxing title. George Foreman versus Joe Frazier, which George Foreman knocked out Joe Frazier in the head.
Rules of the Jamaican Boxing Board of Control. Push them. In the event of a knockdown, you must take an 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule has been waived. Break when I tell you to break. Shake hands now, come out boxing. Good luck to both of you.
They're wearing 8-ounce gloves. The heavyweight championship of the world. If it goes the limit, they use a 10-point must-scoring system. The winner of a round gets 10 points. The loser gets 9 or less. An even round, they both get 10. Joe Frazier, 214 pounds, 8.5 pounds heavier than when he fought Muhammad Ali. It's scheduled for 15 rounds here in Jamaica. Frazier the white trunks, Foreman the red trunks. Frazier boring in. Frazier rarely wins the first round. I'd be surprised if he won it now. Yancey Gorham is holding him there. Here's round 2. Foreman in complete charge up to now. Frazier and Polis. Foreman is being warned. Frazier is being battered in Foreman's corner. Joe's about to go down. He does. He goes down again. Joe is desperately trying to get to his feet. He's on his feet. He's taking a mandatory 8 count. 45 seconds to go in the round. Goes him down 4 times. There goes Joe down again. Joe bounces up. 5 times he's been down. Foreman at him again. It's hard to see how Frazier can last.
Boxing has been Jamaica passion for over the years, so we have our own Well, the first time a tropical country enter a winter sport is to create.
May not have been the most talented Olympians, but they were by far the most entertaining. The last time the Olympics were held in Canada, it was 4 men from Jamaica who made international headlines, making them legends in the history of bobsledding and heroes in their own native Jamaica. 16x9's Mike Armstrong traveled to the sun and sand to spotlight the men who stole our hearts.
Dudley Stokes didn't keep the scrapbook. His wife put it together. He says the memories are enough for him, and he has plenty. In 1988, Jamaican bobsledders were the biggest story of the Olympics, other than maybe Eddie the Eagle.
But you guys were more legitimate than Eddie the Eagle. I mean, no offense to Eddie.
We like to think so.
Now, more legitimate? Absolutely. More likely? No. Jamaica doesn't exactly have a long history of bobsledding. It's a little short of snow and ice. This is about as close as any Caribbean country comes to the sport. Push carts. It's a little like soapbox derby, just more dangerous. An American living in Jamaica, George Fitch, watched the National Pushcart Derby one year and a light bulb went off. A country with so many strong and fast athletes should have a bobsled team.
Can you imagine a Jamaican bobsledder?
The idea was strange enough it grabbed the imagination of Hollywood. In 1993, Disney made Cool Runnings. The late John Candy played the character based on founder George Fitch.
Always remember, your bones will not break in a bobsled. No, they shatter.
Now, the movie plays a little loose with the facts, but the part where they had trouble finding athletes is true.
Who wants in?
Fitch turned to the military to find a team. Stokes was a helicopter pilot. They asked if he wanted to be a bobsled driver. His reaction? What's a bobsled?
I had to go and do some research because I had no idea what that was. That was the start. But then I discovered that the thing had to be driven, and that interested me.
Calgary, 1988. The Jamaicans are, to say the least, an oddity. They didn't even have a sled for the 4-man event until they got lucky and found an old one someone had forgotten about in a storage room on the mountain.
How you doing? Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Dudley's brother Chris was a sprinter studying in Washington, dreaming of running in the Summer Olympics. He watched the Calgary opening ceremonies from his dorm and then drove to Calgary to watch his brother.
I had no idea in my head at the time that by the end of the week I'd been in an Olympic race.
It's one of those truth is stranger than fiction moments. Chris was supposed to be just a proud spectator, and then fate stepped in.
On Tuesday we have an accident. One of the guys loaded onto the sled falls off and hurts himself. I mean, really badly. So now that we have decided to go into the 4-man event, now we don't have 4 men.
What they did have was a fast spectator, but there was a problem.
He was not an athlete in the Olympic Games. He had no accreditation. The games were 1 week old. All right, your accreditation cut off is
some months
like
before.
3 months before.
It's an issue.
It's
a little issue.
And so it was just a real stretch, but George Fitch got going and, all sorts of things. And he got him accreditation. Yeah. That does in itself a miracle. Well, he turned up, he had the pass. Yeah.
And I was
athlete.
Yeah, in the village with a big thing that says, athlete from a sofa the week before.
So there's your cool plans for 4 years later. I'll cross out the Olympics. That's done. I did that this week.
The team went into the competition with barely any practice together. Their first run was terrible, their second a little better. In the third, they had a good start, one of the best of any country, but it didn't end well. They had jumped in too tight, Dudley had trouble steering, they got into what's called a wave and crashed.
I hit my head at about 80 miles an hour on the ice, and it stayed on the ice for another 600 meters.
I just remember, okay, so this doesn't feel too right. And a little bang, but I'm not sure. I don't know that I've turned over. Until now I started to smell my helmet, which is fiberglass, burning on the ice, which is something that stays with you for many years afterwards.
Now the story could have ended there. 4 humiliated Jamaicans and a walk of shame. The thing is, someone clapped.
I had my head down, and all I could hear was my spikes crunching through the ice. I mean, every step it was like amplified in my brain. And then I started to hear this cheering, and I lifted up my head a little bit.
We walked sort of right through the finish and so on, but the crowd started cheering and waving. So, you know, the guys started cheering and waving back.
This was the moment immortalized in the movie, a terrible letdown that turned into something special.
And that sort of support from the Canadian fans to me really gave the impetus to what has developed as Jamaica bobsleigh over 2 decades now, and which we remain very grateful for.
Now again, it wasn't quite how it happened. They didn't carry the sled, they pushed it, and the crash wasn't caused by human error.
But I like the movie version better. I think there was a serious mechanical failure.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That's proof. That documentary that Disney made, yeah.
Yes, that documentary got it just right. Excellent work.
It's now been more than 2 decades since the Calgary Games, but the Jamaican bobsledders have left a legacy.
All right, you're gonna go quickly to your right.
Some of which is almost as unbelievable as the story itself. A new tourist attraction outside Montego Bay now includes a gift shop full of bobsled merchandise, a museum to the team, and a bobsled run. Well, sort of a bobsled run. Mini sleds run through the forest. If you take it by the way, be careful, it stops very suddenly.
I know you have this nice ice house in Calgary.
Yeah.
Let's give us a few more years.
The other part of the legacy is the team. Chris and Dudley went to 2 more Olympics. They got to where they were ranked 8th in the world. In fact, the International Bobsledding Federation one year held its annual meeting in Jamaica.
Okay, this was our first attempt at a push track.
The legacy also includes facilities and a future. The current Jamaican bobsledders are part of the sports college outside the capital. They missed this year's Olympics, but they're already working towards Russia in 4 years. Their practice facility isn't much to look at.
2, 3.
But they say they'll be ready. This isn't a country with Canada's resources, but it produces athletes. The fastest man alive, Usain Bolt, ran a 9.9 on this track just a few months ago. It's not about where you train. It's about how hard you train.
People who come into the program need to understand it's not about money and facilities and being able to travel as opposed to drive, or being able to get a brand new sled as opposed to a used sled. It's about the attitude that you bring to the starting line when the clock starts at 60 seconds and it's Jamaica One's turn.
And you never want to hear anybody use that training facility as an excuse.
Don't want to hear about it. Don't want to hear about it. That is massive progress.
The 2 brothers have gone on to other careers. Dudley's a transportation broker. Chris has his own financial services company. But both of them are still deeply involved in the bobsledding program. Just about any gift shop in a Jamaican resort or at the airport includes something bobsled related. They're that big. They're both proud of their legacy and what they accomplished, but with each passing year, even though they lived it, they find it harder and harder to believe.
The whole story is very unlikely. You know?
It's the thing they make movies about.
Yeah, absolutely, and I guess they did. But that's the truth. It's just a very unlikely thing to have happened.
And out of all imagination, who would have imagined that Jamaica would reach World Cup football?
Right away, photo op for both teams. Both excited to be there. Historic meeting. First half, pick it up. Devor Suker breaks down the left wing. Beautiful job sending the cross to Mario Stanic, diving header. Watch the header, but staying on and staying home, Warren Barrett. Other way, Tommy going to pick it up, and Jamaica this time with a threat.
Well, Lowe is the man who eventually gets to this ball as it comes flicking across. Watch what he does here. He hits it in, and watch on the line. Yarny takes away the certain goal. What a play off the head.
Later, Croatia with a corner. Igor Stanic will get it. Watch this shot booming off the crossbar. Mario Stanic there. Goal! 1-0 Croatia. Big booming shot off the crossbar and a goal, but Julie, back come the boys.
Take a look at this ball from Ricardo Gardner. Pin perfect. Robbie Earl finishes it home. Brian, take it, baby.
Whoa! You know, you could give a Latin call once in a while. Look who's dancing now. Not Croatia. It's Jamaican fans. They are enjoying themselves. Second half, problems for the keeper for Jamaica. Warren Barrett off the free kick. Watch this. Robert Prozinecki puts this in and off his line. Puts it over Barrett. Prozinecki's stunned. So's Barrett. And things get rough from there. Lowe with the challenge on Stanic for the header. Right off the jaw. Stanic ends up with a bloody lip. He had to leave briefly, but he would return. More rough stuff here. Lowe coming in high on Yarny. And a kick to the chest here. Set off some fireworks after this. A little pushing and shoving.
Dion Burton gets a yellow card, and Julie, now it's acting time in the cup.
Low again, getting super in the back. He looks around. Nobody saw me. I'm going down with this one.
I'm okay. I'm not okay. But later, you know what? He'd be okay. Zucker, again. Trap. Where's the defense? Phantom D. Goal. Barry. That was a deflection. Phantom defense there, and Croatian fans thrilled.
6 minutes to half-time. Oh, here's Whitmore. He's through and he's scored. And Jamaica have the lead. Suspicion of handball there, but Whitmore didn't wait for the whistle, didn't wait for the defence or goalkeeper. Whitmore again. He's already scored one. Oh, he's in his second. That's an even better goal. Jamaica 2-0 ahead now. Wagner Lopez, Nakayama, and Japan have the goal they craved. Wagner Lopez header right into the path of Nakayama.
doing, how it all turned to lies. Sometimes I think that it's better to never ask why. But when there is desire, there is gonna be a flame. Where there is a flame, someone's bound to go burn. Yeah! Shut it down, baby! Shut it down! You're gonna die. You gotta get up and try. Ever worried that it might be ruined? And does it make you wanna cry? Oh, when you're out there doing what you're doing, tell me, are you just getting by? Oh, tell me, are you just getting by? When there is desire, there is gonna be a flame. Where there is a flame, someone's gonna get burned. But just because it burns doesn't mean you're gonna die. You gotta get up and try. You gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up,
Go! All four, baby, all four.
What is your name?
What's going on? How you doing, brother? Pleasure. Come on, let's get a good one over here. Nobody's ever been faster than this guy. Ever. Of all the billions of people. Hold on a second. Let's get a good one. Wait, should we get a pose here?
Yeah, maybe.
Come on, man, show me.
Oh, there it is.
Wait, I gotta make sure my feet are right.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Greetings, Massive. Hey. Wagwan, Jamaica.
It ended like this, but began with this. On Wednesday, March 7, Prince Harry concluded the Kingston leg of his 4-day visit to Jamaica, commemorating the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. His trip took him across Jamaica's capital, leaving those he met and spoke to with memories that will last a lifetime.
This is anybody's dream to meet the Prince. You know, he's a wonderful guy. I think I've seen him a couple of times, but I never get the chance actually to meet him. And to meet him today, it's a wonderful feeling for me. No, I wasn't nervous. I met Prince Albert before, so I wasn't nervous talking to a Prince right here now. So.
After beating the world's fastest man Usain Bolt in a 20-metre dash, Prince Harry made the trip across the city to the University of the West Indies Mona campus, where hundreds of students and other well-wishers turned out to see him receive an honorary fellowship from the university's Faculty of Law.
It is a great honour for me to be here in Jamaica representing the Queen. Her Majesty is, of course, a visitor of the University of the West Indies, and so I feel doubly proud today to be extending her heartfelt good wishes to you, the faculty and students of this wonderful university. I'm so honoured too that you have bestowed upon me an honorary fellowship, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. I have to say that it is rather more restful being here, having just emerged from the relative tranquility of the moot court than it was half an hour ago, when I was being put through my paces by the world's fastest star, who I beat, by the way. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your great kindness in welcoming me amongst you so warmly. And now it just remains for me to call the call.
After unveiling a plaque at the law faculty, the Prince left for his next official engagement, but only after shaking the hand of one lucky student.
My name is Oteng Ralutia. I come from Botswana. It's a great honor that coming from so far away and coming to Jamaica and shake such a precious hand, it's a great honor. I feel lucky. I feel very lucky and honored. I will remember this day for the rest of my life.
The Prince's next stop was the Bustamante Hospital for Children, where traffic came to a brief standstill during his arrival. A section of the crowd had gathered for a royal visit, but it was a dancehall king who made a surprise appearance.
I think it's a good break with this amount of international press. I think it is great. You got to remember now, let's look at the chart to the side and take politics out of it for a minute. Princess died, which was their mother, both Harry and William's mother. They were supposed to come here. It was 97 that they were supposed to come here, and they were invited here by Chain of Hope. And during that time, she died right before she could have gotten here. Which I knew about it at that point, and that's why, that's partially why I actually took the charge of the way I did. And so him coming here is actually fulfilling that void that was supposed to happen that didn't happen. And you can't get around the amount of press, and what we're doing here works.
At the hospital's Learning and Activity Centre, the children waited patiently for the Prince's arrival. In a striking image reminiscent of his late mother's humanitarian work with children, Prince Harry spoke to some of the hospitalised kids shortly before unveiling a commemorative plaque at the hospital. The Prince's next stop was the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in downtown Kingston, where he unveiled the Rings of Life statue, work of master sculptor Basil Watson. The statue was commissioned to commemorate the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, Jamaica's Golden Jubilee, and the 120th anniversary of the founding of the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. As the evening approached on the Prince's first day of official activities, he toured the Rise Life Management Services in downtown Kingston, where he ended up dancing up a storm with a member of the Rise dancers during an entertainment session. The following morning on Wednesday, March 7, the young prince visited Up Park Camp of the Jamaica Defence Force, where he commissioned the JDF's rappelling tower and training facility and participated in a live weapon exercise. Scoring 29 out of 30 points in his target practice, he impressed the JDF soldiers, who said they'd keep his target as a souvenir.
And we're going to put this in there as one of our archives.
And how would you rate his shooting?
It was great. It was on par.
On par?
Yes.
In terms of score, what score did he rate him?
He, more than likely from out of 10, he got more than likely a 9.
In his final activity, Prince Harry, who was a captain in the British Army, co-piloted this JDF helicopter to Trelawney, where he landed at the William Knibb Memorial School. During his stay on Jamaica's north coast, Harry toured sites in Montego Bay and Trelawney. The Prince was expected to leave the...
Harry. Prince Harry has been known to hit up a club or two, and in Jamaica yesterday, he showed off some of those dance skills at a charity called Rise. The young royal was pulled up to dance, and even though he was somewhat reluctant at first, it wasn't long before he was moving for the crowd. Did you notice his blue suede shoes?
This is Trench Town, immortalised by Bob Marley and host today to Queen Elizabeth II, the security befitting the location.
Best thing could happen to us for a longest time.
You know, I want you to give me a little stamp where I can go to England, to the Sophia country.
So people will be pretty excited to see it today.
Yeah. Straight.
The Queen met two Rastafarians and then toured the local school. This is where Marley began his climb to global fame, and he's still a hero and inspiration for many Jamaicans of all ages. Earlier, the crowd had screamed as the Queen arrived at the Jamaican Parliament, but the reality for her is that most MPs want to replace her as head of state.
We are both delighted to be back here.
But inside, the Queen praised once again the Commonwealth, in which she passionately believes.
The terrible events of September the 11th last year reminded us with tragic forcefulness that we do not exist simply as individual countries.
Her message, whatever the reason for the historical connection, we are stronger together than apart.